So off camera I put in the little bits of red because I couldn't do it while this area was wet. I've also made up a slightly thicker mix of the yellow, cadmium yellow with burnt umber, and I put a first coat over some of these apple slices. So this bit I haven't done because this bit's in light, this bit's light, this bit's partly lit, and obviously this bit's lit completely. So I've left this pure as the first tone, and I've put a little bit of that slightly dark tone here, and then I've put a version of it across here, across to here, leaving that bit the original colour, across here and across here, and left again this bit light because it's catching the light. So you'll have grades of colour. And what I'm now going to do is take a slightly darker mix of my red. This probably is going to be quite intense, and I'm going to put it round. It doesn't matter really if I go over the stalk, put it round where the apple looks darker. So as I spread it out, it won't look quite as startling as it does at the beginning. So I'm going to come round where that yellow area is, just rinse my brush out and get some clean water and just put water. I've got my picture at an angle, so it may run more than I want. You're probably better doing this flat. I'm going to come round there and then come down here. Oh, gone over my edge, so again squeeze the brush out and just take off that excess. Round here. I want some of this original pink to stay here, so I'm staying away from that for the moment. And here, if I can be neat on that edge. And this bit's darker. And then again, just rinse the brush out, get some clean water, not too thick, not too much, and then just run it round and touch it to that colour I just added. So what we will have done is just heighten some of the areas of red. Be very gentle with this moving forward with the red. And again, because it's at an angle, I'm getting an excess falling, so dab on your tissue and just lift off. And then I've got a darker mix of this cadmium yellow with burnt umber. It's really got quite a lot of burnt umber in, and possibly I'll need a slightly smaller brush. And I'm then going to put in things like, there's a dark bit there where the curl of apple is just starting to brown. And again, the two ways to soften, either take water to it or squeeze the brush out and just run the squeezed out brush round it. And then there's a brown edge on this one, and then there's where it's folded, it's created little brown lines, so like that, and there's another fold there. And then this bit, again, just make sure you keep the brush, because it's a small brush, just make sure you keep it nice and wet. That bit is brown, and then it's sort of tipped up, so it's sort of, actually there's probably even a little bit of edge there. So if I do that, and then I'm just going to define its edge here, and you begin to get the feel for that bit of apple curling round. This one has a little bit of brown, just defining its edge, defines its shape there, maybe a little bit there. And then this one has a slight feel of brown on its edge. It has a slight, again, run of brown. And again, don't want it too bright here, so just smudging it out with a bit of water. Here it goes browner. And then there's a sort of line across where it's folded, and there's actually a lighter edge there. Sorry, I'm going to cough. Then we want a little bit on the end of this. So where this, it's got a line for the width of the apple and a curl round there. And then it definitely gets like a dip. So we get this area where the seed is going to sit, the pip, and a little line there. So that's going to begin to bring in the shape of the piece of apple. And there's also a line here and some bits there. So again, don't want it too formed, so just squeeze the brush. And there's a slight line there. Just gives you a little bit of the form of the apple. Tiny bit more to do in here. This has already had a little bit of dark tone on, so I'm just going to darken up where that little stem bit is. And there's a dark bit here. This will go darker later, so it's just establishing where the darks will be. And maybe there is even going to be a little bit of green on this one. And there's a sort of brownish bit there where the fold is in that bit of apple core. And just run that, either water or squeezed out brush to soften. And that, once we establish the darks in here, that will begin to jump out. So you can begin to see how those bits of apple are starting to stand out. And that's your next bit.